What up? Welcome to the Words with Wade podcast, episode 76? No. 77?
A whole lot of them things.
It's 70s. I think it's 77. We can go with 77 right now. That makes sense. I, of course, am your host, Young Wade Aloysius Blogs, a.k.a.
Hold on. Where did Young come from?
Young Aloe. AKA.
That's what we're doing?
Yeah, that's new. That's all my AKAs, man. Mr. Quid Pro Quo, AKA Trillmonger, AKA the.
Wait for it.
Wade Blogs. Joining me as always. Well, not as always, but hey, she's back and we happy to see her.
I'm here with a cold, but hey.
Ari's in the building, y'all. And once again, as always, from parts unknown, G is here.
I'm present.
So it is Memorial Day weekend, and I want to give a precursor before we start the podcast. We're recording the podcast on a Sunday at about 4 o'clock. So if Pusha T drops anything from now to tomorrow, we recorded this podcast before he dropped. So don't get mad at us. All right?
He's had plenty of time to respond.
Yeah. Well, it's Memorial Day weekend. He might be busy.
Nah, fam.
We'll get into that, though. Let's get into what we always get into, the rundown.
The rundown.
Starting off with Terrence. The rundown.
Terrence?
Terrence. That's what the T stands for, Terrence. You didn't. Pusha T. Pusha Terrence.
Wow.
He's from here. You know that?
He still sucks.
With that being said, Pusha T, as a lot of you know, dropped his album this weekend. Dropped his album Friday. Daytona. The album was only 7 songs.
Oh, so he's trying to be like Kanye?
Well, that's the good music blueprint now. They've said before all their albums are going to have 7 songs. And it's actually, I have a clip here. That's their thing.
With that.
That's their thing now.
Don't nobody gonna be buying CDs no more. Everybody just be going on Pandora now.
Well, I mean, yeah, nobody physically buys CDs anymore, but all their albums are going to be 7. I have a clip of Push explaining that Kanye's master plan.
Yep.
Can we at least do 10?
Man, 7.
At least 10. Maybe, matter of fact, I take that back. Give me a round number. Let me get 8.
Yeah, I think 10 is the operative number, but they're sticking to 7. So let me play this clip real quick. Shout out to Rod Markman for this clip. He interviewed Push and he asked Push why 7. What's up with the number 7?
7 tracks. Yep. The first argument, I was like, man, 7. Yep, plenty. How are we doing this? Ye was just on 7. He was just like, man, listen, I feel like it's a strong number. I feel like we can get everything we need to get across in 7. It was just about putting your best foot forward and really tearing people's faces off in that short, compact amount of time.
But it's a whole aesthetic. It's the label, all the projects.
Yeah, all the projects. Yeah, all the projects that would. Now that is true. His project, my project, Cuddy's project, him and Cuddy's project, Nas's project, Tiana's project.
So yeah, that's a good music thing now. So all their projects are going to be 7 tracks.
First of all, okay.
Go ahead.
Look, first of all, you better hope that you ain't got no whack music on there, because 7 fucking tracks is not even enough. So if 3 of them tracks fucking suck, your whole career is dead and trash, fam.
Well, I think that's the point. They're like, if we can't get you with 7 good songs, then we need to stop making music.
I mean, some of them need to stop making music now, but they're still going. So
I'm curious. I'm curious how that would go with a is that going to be an industry standard? I think that's too low personally. Because I remember when Nas dropped his Illmatic, he had 11 tracks, and that people were like, "Oh, it's too short. It's too short."
Standardized tracks to me are about 12 to 15 songs. Well, okay, 12 songs standard.
Yeah, I think a standard, I would say 10 at lowest, and that's like add a skit or two. I mean, 10 music, not even counting skits. You gotta
Nah, them skits be sucking.
Not an intro track or nothing. Like 10 music songs. You know what I mean? To me, that sounds like a good number. And I think G said the same. Like 10 is a solid number.
Yeah, I'm about to say, keep in mind, if I'm not mistaken, Blueprint was 12 songs?
That's a good question.
I didn't mean to say 12 then.
you don't want to agree with G.
I don't associate myself with Jay-Z.
Was like 12 songs. And that was, I think that was the first time an album was that short and considered literally to be a classic.
No, Blueprint was 15.
It was 15.
Yeah,
wow. So that was way more than I thought.
So I take out 12 to 15.
I know one of Jay's albums was like 12 songs. It might have been one of the
I'm gonna go with 10
in my lifetime or whatever.
It might have been Reasonable Doubt. How long Reasonable Doubt?
Reasonable Doubt, I think, was 15.
Yeah, you're right. 14. Yeah.
So we're gonna stick with 10.
So roughly my expectation as a fan listening, and like I said, Jay has been one of the people who's dropped, in my opinion, shorter albums, but they're consistent and they're good albums. So he was one of the people that dropped better projects but less music. And as I said, I think one of his shortest albums was 12 tracks. So in my opinion, an actual album shouldn't be less than 10. If it's less than 10, I'm considering it an EP.
And that's what a lot of people were saying.
That's my personal opinion, though.
I think 50 even said that, was like, he's selling y'all the EP for album money. Because that's essentially what an EP is, like 5, 6, 7 songs.
Definitely not an LP.
But
especially, keep in mind that it's been cats putting out EPs that are like 15 tracks.
This is true as well.
So, at this point, let's just get out of defining an LP, EP. It's a project. I'm dropping a project.
See, I understand.
We ain't doing albums, we ain't doing mixtapes, we ain't doing LPs, we ain't doing EPs. We damn sure not fucking doing playlists.
See, I get the logic behind it because of the ADD society that we live in. You got to put the music in a short space. I just want to know why they came up with that number 7. Like, I feel like that's not enough. And listening to Push album, it's like 20 minutes long. The whole album is like 20 minutes. So it made me want more. Like, you could have put 2, 3 more songs. Point. I feel that's that point. I understand the logic behind it. Like, everybody's, ADD society that can listen to. It's the opposite of Chris Brown. Chris just dropped 45 fucking songs. Excuse me, didn't say that.
Ooh.
I know, right? I'm tearing up.
Ramadan?
Chris just dropped 45 songs.
Yeah, I'm about to say, ain't it
Yeah. Yeah, I'm messing up. It's been a rough one. Chris just dropped 45 songs.
Breathe.
And then Push comes and the whole good music gonna drop 7. So I'm curious to see how this is gonna chart. But with enough of that here, out of the 7 songs, what people really want to consider and what people really care about is, out of the 7 songs, how many of those are hot? Because the whole point of giving 7 songs is supposed to put all of them supposed to be hot. That's the whole point of it.
I doubt it.
So,
because Kanye's album.
Ari, Wade.
7
songs. How y'all feel? Out of those 7, how y'all feel?
I'm gonna say it's adequate. Like, it wasn't no bad songs, But it wasn't no really, really good songs either. It wasn't like, oh shit, let me play that.
Ooh. Can I get a nickel every time you do that?
No, I'm not supposed to do that. You know that.
I'm just saying, can I get a nickel? Because I probably had some money.
It wasn't nothing that made me jump out and plus replay. It was like, okay, it's a good vibe. Keep it moving.
Okay.
I mean, they're good songs. It just wasn't the standout smash.
Well, my opinion, not many people have been that way lately.
I mean, sometimes you get those songs like, and I hate to compare Push to Jay. Like, okay, like I Got the Keys. That song was a smash. He was like, yeah, I'm banging that. That's it. There wasn't no songs like that. And even just in Push's catalog, he's had smashes before that you want to replay and he hasn't. This album doesn't have that. It's good music, no pun intended.
I was about to say pun intended.
Yeah.
Maybe that's their point, because at the end of the day, it's not like he's in my top 10 anyway. I'm not saying that he's irrelevant. I'm just saying he's not in my top 10 anyway. So,
well, I think that they're trying to position him for that.
Good luck.
Cause right now in the new breed, the new
they're
generation,
trying to position him for that, and he hasn't even come up with a comeback yet.
Yet, remember, it's still early.
Bruh, he's gonna end up being like Nicki Minaj and wait the shit out.
Nah, I don't think so. I think Push. If I know Push and I don't,
he's
know
gonna
Push,
piss Virginia off.
He does have the weight of Virginia on him, which is crazy because he's not even a Virginia MC. But you know what I'm saying?
What part?
He's from Virginia Beach.
I was having a conversation about this earlier, and during the conversation, I got called crazy, almost crucified. Oh, you're not really listening. All of this, because my opinion, it's a regular Pusha T album. That's how I felt. Nothing amazing. Nothing stands out. Regular Pusha T album. Me personally, Darkest Before the Dawn, still his best project. I'd rather listen to that than listen to what he just put out.
Yeah, it's a C plus effort.
Said, it's a solid project. It's a solid project. I don't think it's a classic at all.
No, we're not talking like we normally album. No, but we're just overall. The art. Oh, we can talk about the art. Yeah, we're gonna get to that in a second. I think that's a part of it too. Maybe we had too much high expectations because of the album art.
The album art was disrespectful.
We'll get to that. We can get to that in a second. That's a part of it too. But like, yeah, G, I just feel like I've said, like you said, and I've heard other people say, if you're a Pusha T fan, this is what you want. If you're just a fan of hip hop, it's okay album. It's okay. It's a C plus album. And it's not knocking nothing from Bush. It's not like saying it's a bad album. It's good, but it's nothing that make me want to play it again. Like, and plus, because of the short runtime, I can listen to the whole album while I'm going to the store. Like,
are you coming to the show?
Yeah, like you can listen to the entire. It's only 20 minutes. Like, we can play the album in its entirety and still have an entire show to do. So I don't know if this marketing plan that Good Music is working on by the 7-song track list is actually working for them. Because what I feel it's gonna make a lot of forgettable projects because it comes in and out of the consciousness so fast. You understand?
Yeah.
Like example again with Chris, 45 songs. I still haven't listened to the whole album. It's 45 songs. I listened to Push album like 5 times already, and I'm done with it. Like, yeah. Like, I'm probably not gonna listen to it again.
Like, just like you said, bro. Like, at the end of the day, is if you listen to Push and you know what Push normally does, that's what you expect from him. And during the conversation that I was having earlier that I mentioned, is he stayed in his lane, and that's what that was. I was like, Darkest Before the Dawn, he was on the edge of pushing past what I consider to be his glass ceiling. Everybody already knows Push, talk drugs and money. We expect that from him. So when it gets to a point that the growth is pushing past just talking about that or even talking about that and relating it more so. Not saying he doesn't do this, but more so to regular life and relatability to, Joe Schmo that's working a corporate 9 to 5. When you're talking drug talk to the point that he can relate to it just off of the grind and the aspect and, just not want to do it on a regular basis, then that's where the growth comes in. I feel like on Darkest Before Dawn, he was right there on that edge of pushing it to that limit. And it was funny, the individual I was having a conversation, well, I'm not going to keep saying the individual. Shout out to Silk. It was a friend of the show. Me and him was having a conversation about it. And he was calling me crazy because I was like, yeah, I wasn't really impressed by the album. And he was like, why not? And that's basically what I told him. Like, Push gave me what I expect from him. It's a run-of-the-mill Pusha T album.
And
it's a growth that's supposed to be in each individual project. And again, like I said, Darkest Before Dawn, his growth showed. And in the words of Silk, he tried on that project to step out of his box. It wasn't well received. It didn't, do the numbers. So he reverted back to, what he sells well. And I was like, that's the problem. I said, so he went back into his box. He has a glass ceiling. Everybody expects certain content from Push. So him stepping outside of it, people don't know how to receive it. But if he's growing as a man and as an artist, he has to push those boundaries and push those limits. People aren't going to accept it right away. Nobody accepts change right away. But once you consistently give them that, they have no choice to.
yeah, it was
My opinion.
no.
They're going to crucify me, but it is what it is.
I'm seeing a lot of Pusha T fans, of course, that love the album because it's Push. But like I said, and you said, I've heard other people say as well, just music fans, it's just an album.
Yeah, but the Redskins have fans.
Huh?
Yeah. He's not the greatest to me, I'm sorry.
I think, like I said, they're trying to position him to put into that argument of the Drake, JCole, Kendrick. They're trying to put Push in that argument. And we had this discussion on the show before. Like, why isn't he in that discussion?
Because he can't hang.
Because I think this album shows why he's not in that discussion.
Because he can't hang.
He can rap.
I mean, I'm not saying he can't rap, but he just can't hang.
Just, yeah, this album, I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but I wanted more.
I mean, I heard 2 songs maybe. And then I was just like, I'm not gonna listen to the rest.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good album. It's just it's nothing stand out about it. Like, you put it on one time, you can put it on in the background.
I expected it to go harder because of the disrespectful album art.
And let's get to that. Let's get to the disrespectfulness of the album art. For those who don't know, and I'm sure at this point everyone does know, the album art, Pusha T's album Daytona, is an actual picture of Whitney Houston's bathroom when she was going through her
at the height of her drug.
Yeah, her the coke rumors.
Phase.
Yeah. I don't know how to put that best way politically correct.
Her drug phase.
It was said that, and let's see. Entertainment Weekly caught up with Push and asked him why he chose that cover. He said, and I quote,
"God,
I felt I should do a Push accent. Do I have a Push accent?
I don't know.
I don't have a. I can't think of it. I feel like I say you at the end of it. Yeah.
No, please don't.
Okay, anyway. I feel like the cover represented an organized chaos. The energy of the album is a bit chaotic, but it's all in place. And looking at the cover, I'm sure whoever frequents that bathroom or that area knew exactly whatever they wanted to find and knew where it was at.
But he could have gone to a ghetto and took a picture.
Well,
he didn't have to use something so personal and somebody who is not even here to defend themselves. Nor if she was here right now, I bet you he wouldn't use it.
But I think this is the whole Kanye thing, because as we heard, Kanye likes press buttons.
Kanye.
So Kanye's like, I'm gonna do this because it's gonna press buttons.
But what's the point? After you press the buttons, it's you gotta think about the aftermath. After you press those buttons, how many people are behind you, man? Just to make a fucking sale? Like, that's not cool. You disrespecting her family. Like, that's like people dying. Like, you see so many Facebook videos and somebody ends up using the background to Kanika's picture. Bruh, that's too much.
Yeah.
You doing too much, fam.
And his family.
And I expected the album to be like, if you gonna come up with an album cover like that, fam, you might as well back that shit up with something hot.
Yeah.
There has to be a reason that you're really doing that. Because if somebody did that shit to my family's not here. Now, she didn't, I'm not gonna say she didn't have support. It was the height of her drug phase. But why would you, yes, it's aired for everybody to see, but nobody need to go back to that. Like, are we gonna use Left Eye's crash picture? Like,
exactly. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
You have a very valid point.
Like, some of that stuff should be untouched.
And
I don't care how much you pay for it.
Whitney Houston's cousin has criticized it and said it's a disgusting publicity stunt.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she's gone right now. I'm pretty sure they miss her, and they don't need to be reminded of a time in her life that was really hard. She's not here.
Exactly.
It's like, there's certain lines that you should not cross, in hip-hop especially, but there's certain lines, period, between person to person that you should not cross. He's crossing them for money.
Well, like he said, it's a publicity stunt. Kanye paid $85,000 for the picture, apparently. And her cousin, Damon Elliott, I want to make sure I credit him. He told People magazine that I've watched a train wreck happen, but I didn't think he'd go this far in invading someone's family's privacy.
Where did he buy it from?
It doesn't say.
Because that would be my next question. Or did you clear it with family?
That's the question that I want to know. Like, who had the image for Ye to buy it from? That's really what I want to know.
And then on top of that, did you talk to family?
I'm sure he
did.
did.
So outrageous. And then, his bankruptcy and all of that has been well documented. But you got $85,000 spent on the picture.
It's a clip I have.
When in all honesty, you could have staged the picture.
Exactly.
You could have what?
Staged it. He could have made up another picture to look like that, or made up.
Yeah, you could have just went ahead and staged it. You could have just recreated the bathroom or something similar.
Going back to that
the picture yourself.
The $85,000 remark. It's like you put that much money into an album, but the album is not worth $80,000.
They already had sat down, taken pictures. Him, Ye, and a collective group of other people had sat down and taken pictures, agreed on the images, and then at the last minute, Ye has this idea: let's use Whitney's bathroom.
I think it's distasteful, but Push has said himself that Ye likes to push buttons. Ye does this to get people riled up. I think I have that clip when he actually said, "This is what Ye enjoys. This is what he does." Here's the clip right here. Give me 1 second. Let's cue that clip up.
What would Meek do?
Originally, I had heard the early version.
Right.
What was it? How do you respond?
Right.
Is now what we now know as what will Meek do. So Kanye starts off. I'm hearing it is crazy, and then Kanye's verse coming, and I hear poop, scoop, and I'm like, oh, what? Are we going hit on a Pusha T album?
Yo, man.
What was your reaction when you heard the? And then he goes in and he starts actually like really rhyming.
Listen to
and
this
it's a dope
part
verse,
coming
but
up,
what
y'all.
was your reaction with the, when you first just heard Scoop on your record?
It was hilarious to me. You have to understand, man, he gets a kick out of all of the chaos that he causes.
So Kanye's whole thing is just to fuck with people. Scar. Mess with people.
Whoa.
I'm doing horrible. So with knowing that and knowing Kanye's history, I'm looking at Kanye a little differently on top of that he just wants to mess with people. He just does things to mess with people. So yeah, I'm not paying him any attention. But overall, as far as the album is concerned, like I said, I give it maybe a C plus, maybe or a B minus, a C plus. It's a good Pusha T album, but I wouldn't say it's a good total album. Just was an average album.
Right.
I second that.
But if you're a Pusha T fan, it's exactly what you want. But if you're new into Pusha T, if you're just listening to hip hop, you might be like, okay, this is cool. But if you're a fan of Push,
it's not going to be to the point where it's just like it's argued about in his discography or the best album of the year. And sad to say, already people have been like, "Oh, this is the best album of 2018." No, it's fucking not. It's not.
It's people always jump to conclusions anyway. And then
we haven't even stepped into really the middle of 2018 yet. What you mean?
And Nas is still coming. So
Exactly. People are already saying this is the best album of the year.
What? My birthday hasn't even happened yet in the middle of the damn year.
Not even because it's 7 songs. Let me not get that misconstrued. It's not, the content is not enough to be the best album of the year. As of right now, I haven't heard a hip hop album better than Cole's this year.
Well, that Black Thought album is coming, but I'm sure we'll get to that a little later.
Yeah, see, and as I already said, we still got more year to go. But as of right now, today, I haven't heard a best hip hop album better than JCole. Now, what happens for the rest of the year, I may have to retract that statement. But as of right now, Pusha T album is not the best album of the year.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Sean Puffy Combs, Diddy, you're wrong.
Well, you know,
he already
Puff
called the album a classic.
You know, Puff be on that
That's a
bullshit.
classic.
It's we're so caught up in the moment of labeling everything a classic these days. It's a good album, but not a classic.
It's a good album. It's a good Pusha T album. It's a good Pusha T album.
Push.
Yeah, Pusher. I enunciated.
Pusher.
Yeah, so I mean,
Pusher.
like I said, it's a good
And
album.
of course, I know I'm gonna get crucified in the comments because everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, that's hometown, this and the third." Look, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Like, if the album's, regular or is average, it is what it is. I don't care who album it is. I don't care if it's on my own team.
Well, here's the thing.
Album is average.
That's a conversation. I don't want to kick a man when he's down because he is down right now. But that's a conversation I've had as well this weekend. That Push is from Virginia, so we're supposed to support him. But then the question is Push a Virginia MC or is he from Virginia? There's a big difference.
From VA.
There's a big difference, and we'll have that discussion later. And then Push, I invite you to the show if you're listening out there, because something tells me you're going to hear this. I invite you to the show. We had a discussion on the show. I'm not going to kick you while you're down right now, but I've had this discussion all weekend that he's a Virginia MC and not an MC from Virginia. He's not a Virginia MC. He's an MC from Virginia, so that's a difference. It's a big difference, but. He's still showing he's going to post what first week sales are projected to be at 75,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
But they did say the streaming numbers, because of the low number of tracks on the album, is hurting the streaming numbers. So I think that's, like I said before, I think that's going to backfire on good music. Now, one thing that did stand out on the album was the track Infrared. And you may have seen this clip by now, Uncarnation. I'm sure you've heard the track. You've probably seen the clips online when Push is basically going directly at Drake. He's not saying Drake's name. Of course he's not. They don't do that anymore. But he's alluding to things that we know he's talking about Drake. He calls out Quentin, and we all know the Quentin Miller situation. And Push, of course, sat down with 1,000 people and talked about this. He's on his press run right now. Let me see if I can pull that clip up here, where he alludes to, and we all know the situation. Well, for those who don't know the situation, it kind of goes back a few years. Let me go play that once again. Shout out to Rob Martman. That's the homie, so shout out to him.
I gotta talk to you about, man. I'd be remiss that we get all the way through the project and then
when I got the beat and the sample, I was like, oh, okay. This is where this is supposed to go.
You know, not even to dance around it. I mean, Drake, it was about maybe 2 years ago, 2 birds, 1 stone. Right. And everybody was under the impression that he was talking about you. And
yeah, everybody felt the 2 birds, 1 stone. That was Pusha T, Cuddy Ames, so on and so forth. And that was fine. I felt like, okay, I can't have an argument about how real I am. Let's just, you know, if it's rap, let's let it be that. And I mean, I'm just speaking my truth on this. I mean, I don't think it's anything disputable.
So, 2 birds, 1 stone. If you want to go back to it, Drake took aim at a lot of rappers. He felt like he was coming at his quote unquote crown. Infrared. As far as disses goes, it's a cool diss. Forgive me, I spent time in California. I know that. West Coast all here. When I feel like when somebody disses somebody, they should say their name. That's just me personally. Even if you know who they're talking about, you should still. If I have the heart to write a song about you, I should have the heart to say your name. That's just my opinion personally. I've always felt that way. It's a cool diss. It wasn't even like a diss. It was like a chin check. Like, I'm just gonna put this out there and let's see what happens. Push released his album when? Friday? Thursday, Friday, we'll say. And apparently, Aubrey was ready. I feel like he had that in the tuck somewhere. I feel like he had that track made. You don't think he had it already? I had to call him Aubrey. I had to call him his name. Aubrey's ready for him. So Aubrey released the track. What's the name of the track?
What was the post I saw? He responded to him in less than 1 business day.
Yeah, in less than 1 business day, Aubrey responded. Let me stop calling him Aubrey.
And the other post that I saw was how you catch smoke from arguably the largest thing in music on the day your album releases.
That's a fact.
Now, with that being a point, let's run back to the history of hip-hop and disses. Who else, if anybody, has ever responded that quick on top of the diss? Like,
you know,
your album just dropped. The song that can fuck it. The song that's about him is on there.
Yeah.
And the same day the album drops, the diss drops too.
Well, I've saw this discussion, and I have to toot my hometown horn, because Yuck Mouth, 50 Cent and G Unit diss Yuck Mouth, right? Back in the day. Yuck responded 4 hours later. So that was the fastest response I've ever seen in my life. But aside that, y'all, most unconditioned don't know about that. But check it out. It happened. Yuck Mouth did it back in G Unit heyday. Let me look this up really fast. Yuck did it back. Game Over. The track was called Game Over. We did this game in G Unit. This was like 4 hours. It took like 4 hours to respond. Drizzy took a whole day, so I'm not mad at that because it was a I don't want to say it's a good diss because we've heard better from Drake. And keep in mind, I'm not comparing Duppy. It's called Duppy Freestyle. I'm not comparing that to Hit 'Em Up or nothing. I'm just comparing it to other shit we've heard from Drake.
First off, fuck your bitch and the click you claim.
Yeah, that's greatest diss song of all time. You could never go over that. I'm not comparing it to Ether. I'm just. It's more like if we're looking at Drake's beefs, it's more like this is the jab. You know, if you remember when he beefed with Meek, Charged Up, was it Charged Up? That was first, and then came back to back. Then came the Haymaker. So I feel like this is the jab. I feel like this is Charged Up.
But see, this is the thing that a lot of people forget with what's going on with Push and Drake right now is they've been jabbing or sparring, however you want to call it, or just taking shots at each other for a couple years.
This is true.
Like on the Two Birds, One Stone that Drake put out, that had Push, shots in it. So now we get into the meat and potatoes of the meal. All that training and jabbing back and forth and sparring with somebody. Like at the end of the day, when you spar with somebody, it's supposed to be with somebody that's better than you to make you better. That's what the sparring is about. I'm jabbing at somebody that can ultimately kick my ass. So if I got to get my ass kicked for me to get better, then that's just what it is.
To me,
so is this legitimately how y'all feel that this situation is going? Like,
I feel like
who's jabbing at who to get better is the question.
I don't think Push by far is a better MC. By far, I don't think that's a question. But I think at this point, Drake's the better artist, and there's a unconditioned. There's a differentiation between the two, and I hope y'all understand what I'm saying.
Nah, they won't crucify you for that.
They probably will, but I think the educated listeners will know what I'm saying. Like bar for bar, what's the analogy? If you put Push and Drake in front of each other, 8 Mile style, Push will win every time. However, that doesn't happen. They have songs go at each other, and like I said before, looking at Drake's history, I can only judge Drake off of Drake. Looking at his history, Duppy, how you pronounce it, this song is a jab. The Haymaker is coming. He's waiting. The Haymaker is coming. And as of right now, we haven't heard from Push, but it's a long weekend.
And that brings me to another conversation I had with another fellow participant of the show. Shout out to the homie Nate.
We all
was having a conversation about it. He's just like, how much, like, Push ain't got no ammo for the most part to go at Drake.
Well, you never know.
Drake has ammo to go at Push as far as what's documented, as far as how much he talks about selling and moving weight. But it's documents, his paperwork that, you know, people snitched and, you know, so on and so forth of who was moving what and who was ahead of him, so on and so forth. I'm paraphrasing. But unless Push really got something that we don't know about in regards to Drake,